1027 WNEW, New York.
Ron and Fez, 1027 WNEW.
Al Dukes might be done with white women. That's because he doesn't get them. He told us that he got stood up twice over the weekend.
Asked 2 girls out. Made plans over this past weekend. One for Saturday, one for Sunday. Stood up twice.
One of them by Fisheye.
Fisheye back in the scene.
Fisheye back standing him up. So poor Al Dukes.
You are one pathetic loser.
That is
And
so true.
Also, Friday night he gets a little drunk, and he's giving booty calls, late night booty calls, to a girl that he has had the opportunity at the F and hasn't. For some reason, you only like her when you're drinking now?
No, I'm gay. I'm gay. She seems to think. She's a nice girl.
All of us seem to think it. But you called her a couple times, and I was here. Then I understand you break the unwritten guy rule and blame it on Rory, who was with you.
What?
He's the one who made the call.
Who asked him to, Al? Because I was sitting here.
Yeah, you begged him to call for you.
That I don't remember. I know I remember.
You had 2 beers. How can you not remember
And
things?
I had a tequila shot or 2.
One.
You are drinking a lot of work, mister. I'm going to tell you that.
So you have 2 beers, you black out, and forget that you called a girl. Then blame it on Rory. Do you not know the unwritten code of guys? We don't blame each other.
We don't dime each other out. We're guys.
We
No,
are. You, on the other hand, are not.
I never heard of that.
You've never heard of that?
He's the one who made the call. I'm not.
You asked him to. Ronnie
And I also saw you make a call.
Here's what happened, because Ronnie and I are sitting in the office. We're watching the whole thing go down. Al calls to make a late-night booty call.
Right.
Gets voicemail, answer machine, whatever it was. Later on, still interested, still wanting to make the booty call, but losing his nerve, despite the alcohol.
Right.
Puts Rory up to it, says, here, just dial this number and see if anyone answers. And then hand it back to me if they do.
Now, I understand that same girl called last night, since you're not paying attention to the unwritten code of guys that we don't dime each other out, and you were yelling at the phone screen itself.
You're talking to a monitor?
No, that's what Billy says. I was talking out. Maybe I was thinking out loud.
Yes, that's what we are saying.
That's called
You are
talking to
yelling,
yourself.
And your problem was that she called about another girl, and you said that's what turns you off.
If I'm walking down the street thinking out loud going, I really need to get some dish detergent, and
Right.
I'm out of Q-tips, and I'm saying this out loud, that's considered talking to myself, and I'm a
Right.
lunatic for doing it.
Then suddenly Ronnie has a retarded friend, and people were bringing that up. Oh, you're the guy who hung out with the retarded guy.
Then you get that name like, Mr. Shopping List.
Yeah. Al, you're done with white chicks, too, after being stood up twice, right? Saturday and Sunday?
I might be.
What do you mean you might be? When's the last time you nailed one?
December
Of what?
2000.
Okay, you're done with white girls, okay?
All girls. Realize that. That's your new unwritten rule.
So done with white girls. I'm like you, Al. I'm done with white girls. Now, your problem with your other white girl is that she likes other white girls, right?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be a plus? Another unwritten rule guys have, when you find a girl that likes women, it could mean that you have 2 chicks.
Right.
And that's an exciting situation.
That's the unwritten rule. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
See, that
because you could end up in the middle of that.
You know there's unwritten rules, do you not?
I don't really know of any.
You don't know of any unwritten rules.
Not the ones you brought up. Not the thing with Rory. That was not. That's
I
You don't
strange to me.
dime out your buds.
After a bachelor party, nobody says what happens. You know that one, right?
You don't come. If you go to a bachelor party and something nutty goes on, you don't go around talking about that. It stays at the bachelor party. Everyone knows that unwritten rule.
To your other friends, you could. I mean, guys.
No, to no one. You don't bring it up. You don't go, hey, the married guy's got beaches. No.
You don't discuss it outside that bachelor party.
You give them your line. Nothing. They get nothing. Hey, Bing, go F your mom. Ping, pow, boom. You saw my eye, Fezzy. It was out like this.
Do you realize this?
I would think you could still tell your friends.
You don't know any of the unwritten rules.
And you don't have any friends.
If you were on a sinking ship, you would push past the women and children.
That's you.
You wouldn't realize
You
the
don't
unwritten rule of women and children first.
You know that one, right?
That's an old-time thing.
Yes, an unwritten code.
Oh, yes, back when the earth had women and children. I forgot, we don't anymore.
That's a code guys live with. It's unwritten, but it's as true as anything else. It's as true as the Constitution. You're a baseball fan.
Yes, I am.
Your team's up 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
Do you steal second base if you're at first? Never.
Oh, I mean,
you know why? You don't run up the score like that. You don't try to show up the other guy when you're whipping his ass. It doesn't mean it's in the rule book, but everybody knows it.
Right.
It's an unwritten rule. Same way, you're a pitcher. Somebody hits your player. What do you do next guy up? Ping! That's an unwritten rule. It's a code. This is what separates us from the animals.
Right.
The animals that don't want to bang two chicks at the same time.
Animals don't have unwritten rules. We do.
All right.
Not that animals can write.
Hey, Joe. Joe, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. I got an unwritten rule. Don't kiss the fags.
All right, that's Al. That's another one you broke, Al.
Yeah.
I'm gay. I'm gay.
You can't come popping in here as gay as a cricket.
Big gay heart. Please don't break my big gay heart.
Like when you get on the subway or the bus and an old lady in a cane comes walking in there, you give up your seat to that person.
Gladly. You stand up.
No one, the conductor shouldn't have to stop the train and say, could you please get up? We have a rule.
Right. Somebody's grandmother's coming down. Would you please like to sit here, ma'am? You get up.
That's an unwritten rule. We have an unwritten rule here in the green room. You don't use that bathroom for crunching.
That's a no crunch zone.
I'm sure if someone went to OSHA and said, hey, they won't let us crap in this bathroom, something would be said about it. But no, that's something we've all agreed upon to respect.
All right, national anthem. You take the cap off.
Right, you rise and you...
Nobody makes you. No one says you have to stand up and take off your hat or put it over your heart. You do it, right?
Yes, that one I do.
But you understand that there are rules, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them seem like they're just things from the old days, to letting the old lady sit down.
What does it matter when these truths came out, Al? The important things are that they are as true as concrete.
They still apply today.
Real.
They completely apply. 877-692-1027.
All right, you're going into the supermarket. You got all your stuff in cart. Somebody comes walking by with a newspaper and eggs. You let them go. You were there first, but you, because of the unwritten rule, go, excuse me, go ahead. Just take a second. You don't do that. You've broken a rule. You've broken an unwritten rule.
You understand that?
I've seen people do that, and a lot of people don't do that.
They're breaking unwritten rules then, Al. That's the situation.
Hey, here is Pete. Pete, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, what's going on, boy?
What can we do for you, Pete?
What's going on, Fez? Al?
What's going on, buddy? What can we do for you?
Yeah, the reason why Al doesn't know about these rules because they're all written for men, and Al is not a man.
And that's why Al's having trouble understanding them?
Correctly. You know what's funny?
What's that?
The Fez are more a man than Al.
Well, thanks, Pete, I think. Thank you for the compliment. 877-692-1027.
I don't understand people who don't get these rules, Fezzy, who don't live by them.
Right. You know, there's traditions, there's unwritten rules, they all go together. Here's one you might understand. The groom doesn't see the bride the day of the wedding.
You get that, right?
That one I've heard.
Now, you know, there's no law against that. It's an unwritten rule. We have unwritten rules that we live by in society.
Now, suppose you got a married friend. He gives you a call, and his wife's going, do you know where he's at tonight? You don't talk.
Right.
Or you're saying, oh, yeah, I think he went to the bar with some guys. But you cover.
Yeah.
Even if he's in the wrong, you're doing your best to protect that marriage.
Especially if you know where he's at. Then you really clay him up. You give out nothing. That's the unwritten rule.
Yes. This is what separates us.
You always see NFL teams. You know, if they've got the game won, they got it locked up, they don't run up the score.
No. Spurrier's going to understand that rule.
Yeah, Steve Spurrier's going to learn that quick.
I hope. I hope he even gets the opportunity.
He'll learn it from the other side.
Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I got an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
You never have a one-night stand with your best friend's sister.
That's a tough one. It's a difficult with this. The only way that you can do this, if you're sure, positively sure, she won't talk.
Yeah.
No, you can't. No, you can never break the unwritten rules. That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
It is a difficult, but I'll say this. Why isn't there any sex better than banging your best friend's sister?
Best friend sister sex. Wow. Al, we're just trying to educate you. We're not picking on you.
Now, you don't ever have to worry about banging your best friend's sister. Number one, you don't bang chicks. Number two, you don't have a best friend. Unless we're Count Punchy. ED doesn't work.
I dated a friend's ex-girlfriend, and everyone was pissed.
Hey, Oscar. Oscar, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, boys? Carholder 1798 here.
Hey, Oscar.
Hey, boys. All right, here's one out. No matter how big your chick is, no matter how gargantuan she may look, if she ever asks you, do I look fat? Your response is always no. Always.
You know why, Al?
Why?
You can't do anything about it before the party anyway. She can't change. That's a long-term thing to turn that thing around. So when you're on your way out the door, baby, you look fantastic.
Same with any new hairstyle.
Right.
That looks great on you. Wow, does that accent your features? Boy, that looks nice. That's unwritten rule. You're going to learn something tonight, Al Dukes.
All right, I'll tell you another strange unwritten rule people don't stay with. One plate at the buffet line.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand to see a guy walking down the buffet line with two plates.
Right. Just trying to fill up everything.
Yeah.
Trying to grab a little bit. Trust me, the buffet ain't going anywhere. You can go get another plate when you're done with that plate.
Hey, John. John, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, John.
What's up, boys?
Yeah.
Listen, number one unwritten rule. You roll it, you spark it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you got to go with that.
Take it easy.
I mean, again, this separates us from the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Separates us from the animals.
Because a squirrel would grab it and spark it up first after another squirrel rolled it.
How about buybacks at a bar? You know how that works, Al?
Never heard of that.
Oh, that's right. You've never made it to the third drink.
You never heard of a buyback?
No, I don't know what that is.
All right, Rory, what is your rule of thumb? 3 or 4 for a buyback?
I've always noticed, unless you know the bartender, like you've been there a bunch of times, it's usually 4 beers and then they buy it back.
Right.
Sometimes 3 beers and they buy it back.
What about a mixed drink?
Mixed drink, usually 2 or 3.
Yeah, I
you
think
can go 3 with a mixed drink.
I think 3 on a mixed drink. And if you know the bartender, I expect them to start even coming at a better pace. And you've been taking care of them for some time.
Oh, yeah. Usually after 2, he's definitely the third beers, without a doubt. If not, the second one's buyback.
Ronnie, look at Al. He doesn't get any of this.
He's never had 3 beers, so it doesn't matter.
You want to know what a buyback is?
Yeah, and how do you tell the bartender I've had 2?
It's an unwritten rule, so you don't discuss unwritten rules. You get that? That would be uncomfortable.
Unwritten usually means unspoken, too, okay, Al? Just so you know. You're not going to say in the bar,
right?
Isn't it time for a buyback?
Hey, George. George, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, George.
Hey, guys.
Yes.
Big unwritten rule. Hookers don't count as cheating. They're professionals.
Well, I'll say it this way, particularly in Las Vegas.
Well,
in Las Vegas, you literally might as well be saying, I'm in another dimension.
In fact, you can bring your wife to Las Vegas and still have a hooker.
I always feel that if you cross any kind of time zone, there is an ability to enjoy yourself. And I think the wives understand that as well.
The prostitute is someone who would love you no matter who you are, what you look like. Yes, it's true, children. That's not why you pay a prostitute. No, you don't pay for her to
You're going to learn tonight, Al.
Hey, Joe, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
My unwritten rule is you never kiss a girl after performing oral.
Well, I think any girl who tries to is getting a headbutt at best. I'll knock her out.
Across the bridge of the nose.
Get away from me with that stuff, honey.
Idiots after that. I don't want their mouth anywhere near me. Get out of the bed, as a matter of fact.
You filthy pig. All right, you came up with a good point. I think it's an unwritten rule. I don't know whether everybody agrees with me on this. You like, and especially if you don't know the girl too good and you just got dumbfounded her, make the attempt to act like you're getting a towel. Yeah, she's going to get up and beat you to it. But give you that, let me get you a towel and start to go or get out of bed slow. So she can say, no, I got it. And then you yell, while you're up, why don't you grab me a nice drink? And let's start thinking food. Let's start thinking sandwich at this point.
It's not too early for a meal.
And by the way, I got to work early, so I don't know how long I can stay. I forgot to tell you, I got to be on work at 4. I had some crazy meeting. Hey, Scott, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Scott.
I just want to... Hi.
Yeah.
I just want to let Al know that when you're at a urinal and there's 2 strangers on the other side, you're not allowed to talk and you're not allowed to look. You gotta stare straight ahead at the tile.
Here's something you're going to learn right off the bat. Urinal next to a stranger, Al, no tasting. That's your new rule. If you learn nothing else tonight, I want you to stick with that one.
No tapping, no sipping. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I don't do that.
And if you walk into the men's room and there's a guy at the urinal, what urinal do you take, Al? The one furthest away from that person that you can get.
All right, Brian's got a good rule of thumb here. Brian, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, Fezzi just said it. When you walk into the urinal, you see a guy there. You don't go right next to him. And when you're relieving yourself, you keep your eyes focused on the wall right in front of you.
Yeah, the wall's good. That's why people started putting sports pages up on the wall.
Right, something for you to do. But don't go snuggling up to an extra guy at a urinal if there's a chance to avoid it.
That is not the time to start talking about the weather.
Right.
Or can you believe that we're not getting buybacks here at this bar? Here at this gay bar.
Here's Tom. Tom, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, what about tipping at a restaurant? Does this clown ever tip anybody?
He tips very, very poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would guess so. I mean, that's a pretty good unwritten rule. You got to tip people. People live by that.
What do you tip?
I tip at least 40%.
Nice.
You're living large, my man.
Ridiculous.
What do you tip, Bill?
A man's ass.
Between 12 and 15, if it's really good service.
Wow.
What if it's so-so service?
Wow, they get the minimum if it's really good
you know what?
service.
I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to end up whacking him.
He gets you so angry.
I know.
He's frustrating to talk to, even when we're trying to help him tonight.
I'm in a I hate Al mood tonight, and I don't want to get into that.
When does that mood end?
Anthony, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Anthony.
What's up, boys?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
What
Good
can we
rule
do
of
for you?
thumb.
Yeah.
2 men can never share an umbrella.
Thank you very much for that. That's an uncomfortable moment here in Manhattan sometimes I've seen. And I'll go over and actually spread them out and go, look, one of you guys get nice and wet.
Right.
I'm not even comfortable with a guy carrying an umbrella.
Usually it's 2 guys in tuxes leaving Carnegie Hall.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
at the
sure.
same time.
Yeah,
At the
you know
same
what?
time,
If you're
your
sharing...
friends can't... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm saying if you're sharing each other's D, go ahead and share an umbrella. If not, get wet. It ain't going to kill you, sugar boy.
You should have brought your own umbrella. And here's the thing. They sell them every 2 feet on the streets when it rains.
Right. It's $2. 3 if it's pouring.
You don't have
in the puddle.
Yeah, right. Like I've never been wet before. You're in the shower, you love it.
You don't have
Why
to...
is it a big deal if you're walking down the street?
You don't have to climb under a canopy with another man, Al.
Yeah. Here's, all right, some of these I'm not even going to deal with. All right, here's one. Here's Jim. Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Yeah.
This is a very important one. Never stare at locals while driving through Harlem.
All right, Al goes in the opposite direction where he won't make any eye contact with people of color, and that's just as bad to me. If you start giving off fear signals around people who have done nothing to you, like you do, Al, and a lot of times I notice this will go, why don't we all go out to a restaurant? Al doesn't like to be on the streets of New York, even though he lives in New York.
Yeah, we would have to go in a group and put Al in the middle.
Right.
Of the sidewalk.
Yeah, that way I could talk to whoever I'm with.
One time we went to a dinner. It was Ronnie and I. Jeremy went. Al went along. We had to leave Al to get another train. He had to transfer. Oh, was he upset that Ronnie and I got off the train and left him alone.
He was petrified that he's on the subway by himself.
After a very nice dinner.
Yeah, because we were in the bad neighborhood of 34th Street.
I was never on that one subway line we were on.
Al, I'm telling you, I don't want to honestly hate you. I don't want to move into the I hate you like Opie thing, but I'm starting to hate you like that. And I don't know what kicked it in for me. There are certain days I can't look at him, and today's one of those days.
Today you must have come in and accidentally looked at him.
I did. I heard
he's like Medusa.
No, you know what made me mad? His I don't want to be with a woman who's with a woman.
Oh, right,
Every guy's fantasy, and he's effing it up.
When we hear him screaming at a phone monitor last night.
I guess if he's with two women, he has to figure which one gets 3 pumps, which one gets 2 pumps.
Is there any way I could get 2.5?
Can we talk to her on the phone, or she does not want people to know that she's with you? Or you and her have this long, excruciatingly painful, moving around each other and doing nothing thing.
We're friends, but she would probably talk on the air.
You got the second base in how many months now? 6?
6 months.
6 months and you got some teeth.
I thought he said he was getting teats. I thought he was starting to grow a pair. I completely misunderstood him on that.
Hey, Matt. Matt, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Matt.
How about when you're on the train, you don't talk to other people?
You know, I kind of agree with that. Don't, and on any circumstances, in an elevator, while waiting for something, don't bring up any kind of conversation, because now you're forcing the other person into it.
How awful is your life that you can't occupy yourself inside your own head during an elevator ride?
Right.
Or while you're waiting to get to your train stop?
I got to feel like, all right, terrorist attack, something like that. Yeah, let's all start discussing things. I don't want to talk about anything else until we get to that point.
Yeah. There's no need to talk to other people on the train.
Yeah. Other than if that person happens to be a chick and you're just making that stab that you don't have a shot at.
Last time Mother visited, I look over, we're on a crowded train, she got a seat, where me and my father standing by the door. I look over, she's talking to a Spanish lady that I know she can't understand, and she's tying some little girl's shoes for her while she's talking to someone else. And I'm like, what are you doing? Would you leave people alone? These people looked horrified.
Sure.
They couldn't understand her, obviously.
The girl's crying like she's being grabbed by a stranger. Hey, Tony, you're on Ron and Fez.
Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got through, because there's so many people that annoy me.
Yeah.
When I'm driving up the Turnpike or Route 109 and they're in their left lane and they're going slow. I thought everybody knew the unwritten rule that if you're not going to push a speed limit, stay to the right.
Well, first of all, yes, you not only are doing the speed limit if you're not left in, you should be 15 miles per hour over it. Now, it should actually be in a handbook so people understand you are passing, or you are speeding, or you are out of that lane.
That drives me nuts if I'm riding with someone else, they're in the left lane, and I'm going, this is the fast lane. I'm going the speed limit.
Yeah.
And they're not.
All right. Here's Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
You're down at Tampa.
What's that, buddy?
The unwritten rule of unwritten rules is never share a motorcycle ride with a dude.
All right. The sidecar thing makes it look like you're pot smokers, and that's always kind of funny. I don't mind the sidecar thing. It always looks funny at the beach. A guy in a sidecar looks like, oh, man, he's wrecked. But a guy sitting on the back of a bike with his arms around another guy, you know what? I'd rather stay home.
Yeah, it looks bad enough when the guy in the back is trying to hold on to the back of the seat to hold on. But when he's just,
Cross to butt. Right.
Yeah, in the love embrace, in the bear hug.
Now, the other thing is, I saw this with some friends of mine. We took this bike trip. The guy on the back was much taller than the guy riding, right? And he was leaning his chin on the guy's helmet. So the guy keeps going, come on, man, get off the top of my head. They look like two guys spooning down 95.
Now, that would actually look like the tall guy was driving the bike, and the other guy was just sitting on his lap, like a child would.
Ray. Ray, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Ray.
I got two. I got to come up with a clean one so I can get on the radio with you guys. But
Right.
the first one is you always have to face the door on an elevator.
You know what? This is one that people get right away. Go into an elevator and don't face this door and see how everybody seems freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
They'll
Yeah,
all
they weird
start
out.
backing up.
They'll be pressed up against the door, trying to stay away from the nut.
All right, can I clean up my sexual one for you guys?
Yeah, clean it up best you can.
You can never go to the first or second input from the third.
Yeah.
Fez might have a slightly different rule for
Well,
that.
you know, but yeah, you got to
Oh, I
agree
see
there,
what
and
you're saying.
that's a health issue. That's just not, you know. You want to get in after you take the elevator to door number 2. Let's take a shower and scrub up and get everything before we get back into it. That ain't even cuddle time after that.
That might actually be a written rule. I think C. Everett Koop actually jotted that one down.
Yeah, the S on the D rule.
Hey, Scott. Scott, you're on Fez.
Hello, Scott.
Yeah. At the beach, you never, ever, ever ask one of your buddies to put lotion on your back. You get that sunburn in the middle of your back. You suck it up.
I gotta agree that no guy should be, and this Al goes for you especially because I know you're Mo. And
I'm gay.
No guy should ever be touching another guy's bare skin on the beach. And if you see that, you know you're at a gay beach.
Right, yeah. And it should be nude at any point.
Nude beaches are nice.
It's,
You shouldn't rub a guy.
Right. Under no circumstances does one guy rub another guy unless you happen to be at a gay beach and then enjoy yourself. Then you and Al can roll around, do whatever you want.
Yeah, and then you can go up to the Cabana Club, D-Sippers.
Here's Chad. Chad, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Chad.
Hey, I've got one that should be of particular interest to Al. You cannot buy a present for any male who is not related to you by blood, and even then it should be as inexpensive as possible.
All right, let me say this. No guy should buy a present for another guy. I don't care what this... Maybe his retirement. Give him liquor. And the only thing you ever buy is liquor.
Yeah, you get a guy a bottle.
Yeah. But let's suppose you have a friend, a guy friend. You're going to get him a shirt or a sweater for Christmas. That's the most uncomfortable thing. I saw this and it reminded me of you.
I knew you just loved this.
Right. Here's another one. Always pay up your bets.
Right.
We got a couple people around here, Fezzy. They don't pay.
No.
They don't pay. And you know what? Here's the thing. Guys, if it's your friend, even like it's $2, $5, whatever, they'll let it slide, but they'll never forget.
Oh, yeah, you always know. And then immediately when something else comes up, you want to bet on the Super Bowl, you want to bet on this fight.
Yeah.
You're not going to bet that person.
Tommy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Tommy.
Cardholder 680. Sweet, big one. Never, if your girl breaks up with you, never cry in front of your friends.
All right, here's a good point here. I think the only time you cry is this situation. Yes, you're shot, you're bleeding. There can be some tears. You break your leg, or your dad dies. Enjoy a nice cry in front of everybody. Then people go like this. You know something? He's an animal, but he sure loved his dad.
That's for sure.
And that's a good thing. But when you do cry when your dad dies, be good and drunk, and make sure you throw a bottle.
I'll do for a fag.
What the F? What the F? Why? Jimmy, why did he have to die? People will accept that kind of crying.
I miss that old bastard.
Right. But
you can call him a name while you're crying. That's all right.
But if you start crying because I don't care if it's your wife that left you, that's ridiculous. No one wants to be around that.
Al, how many times have we seen you cry?
Yes, you've cried quite a few times. Not only does he cry outright, but most of the time, if he's in trouble, he tears up. So you got to look at this big, thick tear, and he don't get a roll going, but the eyes are all glassy and weird.
It looks like someone put some clear jelly in your eyes. It's that thick the way they well up.
And then you say to him, have you never had a coach? Don't you understand? I'm just screaming at you. It's nothing for you to get your feelings hurt by. I'm trying to get a point through here.
Al, I think I've seen you cry like 3 times.
I think I was drunk, though, every time.
Doesn't matter.
One of them was in a boxing match a couple of Fridays ago.
One of the times you were crying, you said you were in love with Billy. Hey, Dan, you're on a Fez.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
I got a big one. If you go to a concert, you can't wear the T-shirt of the band you're going to see.
All right, that is an important one, and people should learn that soon. Mr. Bon Jovi, that goes to you. You go there dressed like Bon Jovi. Al, I notice.
I wear the shirt from the concert before.
Bon Jovi fan since day one.
Never wear the band's T-shirt. And personally, I don't think buy a T-shirt at that concert. I can't stand to look over. What do you get? T-shirts? It looks so stupid.
I always liked it when you could get the baseball jersey shirt with like the long sleeves, the long colored sleeves.
With a band on it?
Yeah, that style.
Ron and Fez, 102.7 WNEW.